Hello, J-Man here in the Phantom Zone. And today we are continuing our Space Opera versus, sorry. Where's my little icon here to let everybody know where we're at? Here we go. So we started this ages and ages ago. And the good thing we're doing old movies and not new movies because so many new movies have come out since we started. But the big thing is that Enemy Mine got deemed as too good. So it got removed from the tournament after it beat Arena to death. Then we did the People's Choice where we brought Ice Pirates and Crawl back, and Crawl won that. And that got back in. So that was in. And then last week was Outland versus Battle Beyond the Stars. Really, Battle Beyond the Stars should have won. But just because it is a representation of what this whole entire tournament is about. But we all thought, most of us thought that Outland was just a little bit better of a movie. And that's how it kind of squeaked through. So this week we're doing StarCrash and Space Raiders. This is going to be somewhat interesting, I think. I know where I fall, but I'm not going to die on this hill. So we'll see how this goes with our panel, which I'm going to introduce in a second. So just a couple of things before we get to that. This Monday. Yeah, this Monday I'm going to be on Clobberin Times talking about The Brave and the Bold Batman, issue 124, I believe is the number, where Jim Aparo is drawing the Batman issue, and the villains from the issue come into the real world and force him to draw Sergeant Rock killing Batman in that issue. Jim Aparo escapes and then has to try to get back and finish the issue. It is bonkers. So that I'm gonna have I'm so excited to talk about this with Clobby on Monday. That's gonna be on his channel, 7 p.m. Eastern time. The link to his channel is in the description of this video and all my other videos. And everyone who knows me is probably subscribed to him anyway, because I stole a lot of his guys. So that's on Monday. Tuesday, Steven and I are going to be doing our weekly Women of Wrestling. So a lot to talk about there. Some stuff happened on SmackDown, and we'll talk about Raw. And then Thursday, I may take Thursday off, so I'm not sure. But Friday we'll be back again talking about the next part of the tournament. All right, so let's bring in my panelists here once I find everything. All right, let's bring in our first panelist.
Hey, Jamie,
hello.
What's up?
All right, we are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready?
As ready as can be, but yeah.
All right. Let's bring in our next panelist. Hello.
What's going on, fellas?
All right, and our fourth. Hello. All right, so we got could not be reached in the comments already. Did you vote? There is a poll up for everyone to vote on what they think is better. So far, StarCrash is at 100%, but it's probably just could not be reached.
One-man poll.
The one-man poll. And I do have I have my patented end of the year J-Man cough. It's not COVID. It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor.
Yeah, just like the guy in Wakanda Forever. It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. Oh, I know. You're right. It's not a tumor.
Yeah.
How the hell? Oh my God, no.
No.
Yeah, we can't
J-Man, don't turn green. Don't turn green.
Oh
Just stay focused. It's fine.
Like, how do you have a tumor in a movie and he's not the villain? I don't get it.
Can of worms.
I can't do it. I don't know. It's just so infuriating. Where's my Van Damme infuriated?
Oh my God.
That was me throughout that entire movie. I'm just like, I actually got a lot of comments. I am not my Namor sucks videos 4 times more than four times, almost 5 times the views of my critical analysis of Black Panther Wakanda for like my actual serious video where I seriously talk about the movie and actually go through the space. I go through story pacing. I go through it. And that video no one cares about. But me saying Namor sucks is like has like tons of views. So listen, that's how it goes, man. They CGI'd Aquaman's package to make it smaller. Oh my god. I got to do that for me too. Tell me who did it and I'll see if I can use them for
I saw something about that. I was like, I don't know, do I click on this or no?
I'm going to say no.
That's why we film from the chest up, boys.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, Charlie.
Oh my god. Well, I've been trying to what did I watch? I was trying to catch up on some stuff. I've been catching up on the horror movies. That's sort of we covered this on the Action Elite on Wednesday when we had sort of our shooting the shit episode, where it seems like horror movies because it's that time, right? Halloween. It's like all those movies came up, and that's just kind of what we're going through. I started watching Malignant because I never saw that one either, so I got to do that one.
Oh, I thought you saw that.
No, I never saw that. Yeah, it's James
I liked
Wan,
it a lot.
right?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Crap, but
yeah,
Well, really good.
Yeah, I started about 10 minutes. I thought, oh, this is really good. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should watch this because I'll actually watch on my monitor. I'll watch on my computer, and I've got like a sound bar on my computer. And then, but then I was like, this movie looks pretty good. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll watch it on the 4K instead of the. Thank God I watched Pearl and X on the monitor because those were brutal. And Owen from Action Elite did text me. He watched Terrifier 2. He's just like, and he's like, the mid-credit scene was like insane. And I actually forgot what the mid-credit scene was. I was like, sorry, what was that? Because everything is insane. Nothing stands out as more insane than the rest of it. I said, sorry, what was the mid-credit scene? And I was like, oh yeah, that.
So I'm the last one to watch it, I guess. That's what.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet either.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll watch it, but like, I mean, the 3 hours scares me.
It's
That's
2 hours
the
and
most
18
terrifying
minutes.
thing about Terrifier.
Yeah.
First of all, it's 2 hours and 18 minutes.
I know.
That's a disgusting lie. Secondly, it's 2 hours and 18 minutes of awesome.
It's not just a lie, it's a disgusting lie.
It's just a disgusting lie.
Because it's made to make it sound as though that movie's not a masterpiece.
Dirty man.
Terrifier 1 is a masterpiece.
It's awesome, man. I thought it was funny as hell, man. I love when he's got that girl's skin on and he's just like flaunting around. It's so stupid.
It's outrageous. It's outrageous.
Yeah,
it really is. I did watch the first one. I don't like clowns though, so I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah, but he's not like a clown in the way.
He's a mime. Maybe they're
he's
that's
not.
worse.
No,
that didn't make it better, Sean.
No, Sean. I know you didn't watch all the stuff. I know you didn't watch everything.
Yeah,
but that super infuriates the filmmakers.
Oh yeah.
No, because a mime doesn't use props. They mime everything.
Right.
Yeah, they mime everything. Yeah.
Right. So they had a killer mime in Freddy's Nightmares, one of the episodes where the mime. Remember, he would go like this and it would actually shoot
the people.
Yeah. So no, he's a silent clown. That's what it is.
Okay.
So I've watched everything you can watch on this.
It's a different breed of clown.
And the guy was because this YouTuber was interviewing the guy and he's like, so you're like a mime, right? He's like, well, I was like, oh shit, this guy's going down. Like, I'm like, this guy, no, it's not.
Cut that interview short real quick.
Somewhere.
Okay, so we're going to do our space. The way it works is we're going to break down the story, the pacing, the artistry, the characters, and the enjoyment. We're going to say which one we like more, and that's how we're going to judge this contest. Now, was anyone, again, I like to open it up to anyone who was not present for either of the movies. Was everyone here for StarCrash?
Nope.
You weren't? Sean, Charlie, you were.
Yeah.
Space Raiders, were all four of us here for Space Raiders?
I wasn't, but
you were not here for Space Raiders.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go Steve first with StarCrash, your thoughts and how you found out about it and your background with StarCrash, and then we'll do your background with Space Raiders, Sean.
You showed it to me.
Right.
Like StarCrash, and it's a movie I've always gotten confused where there's a blatant Star Wars ripoff movie, and there's a star in that title, and I always got the two confused. But I feel like you showed me StarCrash a long time ago, because when I was watching it, I was like, it's like watching a brand new movie. This sounds like something we saw like 10, 15 years ago. It's super colorful. Cabinet of Curiosities.
They're hit or miss. Some work really good, some don't. We watched.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I don't think there was a horror movie of Marceau.
No, that'd be funny.
That would be funny. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I'm so digesting StarCrash because it's such a weird movie. Like, we'll get into it with the space, but I was watching. I'm like, man, this is really good, but this is kind of weird, and this is really good, but this is kind of weird. And I'm like, Christopher Plummer. I'm like, it's a hard movie to digest, especially at this point in my life. Like, where like, I've seen all these movies now, and I'm just kind of like, I don't even know where this fits in, to be honest with you. So it's going to be interesting. This might be one of the few times, because usually I'm the guy who's like, yeah, I know which one, but I may have to sit back on a couple of these, because there's two categories in my head that I'm like, I don't know what to tell you right now. There's three I would say yes, but two I'm like, ooh, I don't know. So
you're okay. So you've got a clear winner on a couple of categories, right?
About three, I would say.
Okay. Sean, Space Raiders. So you weren't here for that one. What was your thing with Space Raiders?
But I feel like either last week or the week before I told my big Space Raiders story. But I rented it along with dolls for a slumber party, and it was awesome. I mean, like I think it's one of those things where like we'd seen everything, but you get hooked in by those covers, right? So it's like, oh, Space Raiders, this looks awesome, right? You look in the back and there's space stuff, so looks cool. And dolls just look like, like a cool horror movie. And both are
I love dolls.
Both are freaking awesome. But yeah, it's Space Raiders it's always been around. I've rented it more times than I care to remember. I don't really know why. I mean, usually I just rented something once or twice, like that, and like Transformers the movie, right? We're rented like a million times. Yeah. I bought the actual VHS that I rented back then, so I own that now, but it's kind of worn and everything. And I think, as I said before, it's a clamshell with the pieces of the cardboard just shoved in there, like someone cut it up. And
they used to do. Those are those fake clamshell. I have a lot of those. Are those fake ones where it was like they would just cut out the front and slide it through
slid it through the slots.
That was how my bad taste was. The one that I bought from the actual video store.
Yeah, those things were always like, they always did that kind of thing, and they had the little tags that you brought up to the counter, and then you got the actual tape and all that stuff.
I hated those because you felt like, oh, the movie's here, and you're like, no, I gotta take the freaking tag.
Yeah, because I remember the first couple of times I would bring the actual thing up, and they're like, no, get the tag. And now the guy knows what it is, but like he can't place the number, so he's like, go get the tag, and I'm like, oh shit. So I went back and got the tag, and
I haven't watched that yet, but I have it.
Neon Maniacs.
I don't know that one.
No,
I've got it.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah. I can lend it to you.
But yeah, over the years, I've seen it on TV, and VHS and everything like that, and I have the Blu-ray now and all that. I was surprised that some of you hadn't seen it before, because I just thought it was just sort of omnipresent when I was a kid, but maybe I'm wrong, right? And it's one of those movies, of course, that shares all sorts of like the music and special effects from Battle Beyond the Stars, right? And that music was like the space theme music. Like if it wasn't Star Wars, it was that. So yeah, I loved it from when I was a kid. I think I have better appreciation of it now. When I watched it for this thing, I didn't get to participate in that thing, but when I watched it for this tournament, I was like, this is pretty good. I was expecting it to look cheap, and it kind of looks cheap at times. Like they're filming in somebody's like oil ranch or something in the beginning, but But I don't know. I think the themes of it. I mean, we'll get into it with the rest of the categories, but the themes of it really grew on me as a 40-something-year-old now. So I thought that was surprising. But yeah,
Cool. Okay. All right. Well, we'll start. Well, Sean, you want to just go with story then? Which one did you like better for story? Since you're
Space
already
Raiders.
Space Raiders.
And the reason why is because like for StarCrash, I like that kind of story where it's like cool. It's pulp adventure stuff, right? It's like they go to a planet, stuff happens. They go here, stuff happens. You know, this guy's betraying us, even though he looks and sounds evil. Yeah. You know, it's all cool, but like it's not cohesive. And it's one of those things where I do have to stop and think backtrack. I'm like, how did we get here again? I don't, you know, like, oh, they're in that snow area and they're gonna die, or how did we get here again? What are they looking for? Oh yeah, and they're looking for something. Like there is a story there, but it gets buried in itself. Whereas Space Raiders, I mean, there's a clear MacGuffin in that kid, but like, I feel like all the character, you kind of know where everything is at all times because the characters have clear defined missions when they're doing things, right? And it is simplistic in that, like, protect the kid, right? But I mean, we'll get into character as well, but like I feel like you really feel why they're doing it because they're fighting for something greater than themselves. I'd said this before in something, and they know that what they do is worthless, but they're fighting for this kid. Like at one point, the main guy's like, you know, you're gonna be working in some cubicle somewhere or something like that, but it's a better life than what we have, right?
Mhm.
And they're all fighting for that, and you really get behind. It's something you can really get behind more than StarCrash. StarCrash is they're fighting like Joe Spinell. It's like that's cool, and he has a fist thing, but like but I don't know. It's like I think I'm more emotionally invested in Space Raiders, so I'll give that story.
All right. I'll go next. So the thing is, this is one of these ones where really both stories are kind of like generic, anyways. So I think Space Raiders is easier to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Space Raiders for the story because, yeah, I kind of got more, even though I don't know, the kid was kind of irritated. We'll get into characters, but like I was just more pumped up for what those guys were doing. Like StarCrash and Space Raiders both have kind of, you know, like if we were ranking stories, we would just give them a 1 or whatever and be like, yeah, okay, the story's a story.
Exactly.
But now that we have to pick one, to be fair, I have to say Space Raiders, even though you guys know that StarCrash is like one of my favorite movies. So what? No, but we are breaking it down now, so it's different when you're breaking it down. It's just easier to follow. Like, I mean, just to simplify it, they're both simple stories. They're generic. Yeah, the kid needs help. Yeah, destroy the weapon. It's generic stuff. But Space Raiders, you can follow it better. I don't know. It just flowed better to me. There are parts in StarCrash where you're like, I love everything. It's like, yeah, let's go to random planets. This is awesome. But at some point you're like, okay, so wait, why? How does being on this planet right now connect to the main thing of what they need to do?
Yeah,
and that it is there. They didn't mess it up.
No,
but you kind of forgot. You're like, oh yeah, what was this again? And that just means that Space Raiders story was being told in a better way. Both generic, both simple. Space Raiders is told better, in my opinion. That's the only reason. Charlie,
you guys have pretty much nailed it. It's Space Raiders, hands down. I know I give StarCrash a ton of crap, but you're right. If I was ranking this like each individually, they'd both be a 1. There's nothing really extraordinary about either story. One's a blatant ripoff of one. The other one is just the product of so many others before it. And I can follow Space Raiders so much easier. Plus, it also tugs at me because being a kid at that point, you loved those movies of like Over the Top, or you know, anything of the kid on a journey, the wizard, stuff like that. The kid on a journey, and he, you know, he grows and the people around him grow. And I do love that it's let's hold him for ransom. we don't give a shit about this kid. Then, eventually they like, okay, we actually got to give a shit about this kid.
Yeah, here's
You know
a
what?
beer.
Yeah, here's a beer. Let's shoot some space rocks.
Yeah.
It's here, crawl in this tight space and fix the ship with a stick. It's fine. What happens if the kid dies? But as it goes on, I actually feel like they do start caring, especially the captain. And I didn't rewatch either of these, before we went. I was like, I feel like I could remember 90% except names. And I'll make fun of StarCrash later. I'll save it for another segment as we go. But it's going to be Space Raiders. It kind of has to be for me.
All right, Steve.
Yeah, it's Space Raiders. Pretty much for the same thing all of you guys have said. Both are very generic. I find it like StarCrash has a very grand storyline in there somewhere, but it's like the problem is that I feel like key points are sort of either glossed over or said once amidst a bunch of a bunch of stuff going on, and then you're like supposed to remember, oh, that's why they're on the planet Hoth, or the ice planet, sorry,
right?
And all this stuff, and you're like, wait a minute, I missed that. I missed that part. I feel like Space Raiders knew what it was trying to be. It didn't try to be anything. I feel like StarCrash was going for a grander movie, but they didn't execute it as well. And you have to give it to the movie that executed the story better, and that is Space Raiders, 100%.
Yeah, StarCrash had like loftier aspirations and just couldn't hit it at all.
Like when they're on like the planet is the weapon, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
right?
There's elements in it's cool. It was kind of funny is you guys were talking. I got thinking it's like if there was like a 6-episode storyline of Star Trek, yet there was one through line, and you had to remember each episode like what happened before. That's kind of StarCrash, where you're like, wait, why are we here again? Oh yeah, that's why. Yeah. Then we go somewhere else on the next episode. What's going on? And at the end of of every episode, you're like, oh yeah, that's what connects all this. That's where we're going. That's kind of the feel it had.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, and I don't think it's bad. Like it's like the movie explains it all, so it's our fault for not following it. So, but we're not debating StarCrash's merits. We're saying versus.
Yeah. Versus.
So that's where that fails. It's like, it's my fault that I didn't remember the first episode. It's like I should remember. It's up to me to remember. It's not like they didn't tell you. Like there's movies where you're like, this doesn't make any sense. What is happening? This is just like I've kind of lost my way because they're presenting so many things.
Yes.
Oh, here's these new characters.
It's a ton of stuff there that you have to consume in. And it works in movies like Star Wars, but it's also why Star Wars was originally 3 movies. Right. It's one story, but it's that grand a scale. And StarCrash went, we can fit this in an hour and a half, and just throw it out there.
Yeah. So just Space Raiders did it better, right? All right. So Steve, well, you ended. So why don't you start with pacing then? What did you think was better for pacing?
I'm going to have to defer this one. This is one of the ones I'm stuck on because.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's your privilege. This is like 12 Angry Men. It's
he gets an asterisk. There's asterisks here. We've set that up. It's fine.
Yeah. I need to listen to you guys, and then I'll make that.
All right. Yeah. No worries. Does that? Well, besides Charlie, does anyone else know? Well, I know what Charlie's going to say.
I should have just wrote my votes in and just was like, okay, guys, I'm good.
Okay, Charlie, what do you think? Tell me why Space Raiders is better.
Okay, I will. No, well, I think it comes back to a little bit of what we said about storyline is like, just because there's a ton of stuff happening does not make it good pacing. Just because it's like, oh, now we're here. Oh, now this is happening. Oh, now this is happening. That doesn't make it good pacing. Fast pacing isn't good.
Right.
Space Raiders pacing is I never get bored. Like there's always something going on. I mean, they even threw in the fact that the kids not kidnap. I shouldn't say kidnap. The kid stowed away on the ship accidentally. Then they're going to hold him hostage.
Yeah.
But then there's kidnappers thrown in the middle of this. Then the kid ends up on another ship. Like stuff keeps happening in this movie that pushes the story along. And I'm never bored watching Space Raiders. I mean, we talked about it when we first did it, that it was the first time I had seen the movie. I couldn't tear my eyes away from this movie. I was in 100%. StarCrash took me 2 days to watch.
Right.
and it's mostly me. It's mostly my personal preference on these type of movies, but legitimately, it is Space Raiders because I feel like the pacing is more cohesive. It pushes the story along at a good pace, and StarCrash has a lot going on, and it's like, here's a planet. We were just talking about it. Here's this happening. Here's robots. Here's action. Here's David Hasselhoff with eyeliner and all this stuff's happening. There's a lot, but I still think this comes down to they're both a 1. So which one do I like better as far as a score? Space Raiders.
All right. Sean, do you have a winner?
David Hasselhoff is not wearing eyeliner; he's wearing guyliner. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Guyliner. My
You know what, Charlie? That's it. That's it.
I recommend you try another sport, like knitting.
That's it, buddy.
I'll be Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man. I knit you this sweater. Here you go.
Knitting is a fine profession.
Right, man. There's no shame on my end, boys. I will knit with the best of them.
Yeah.
And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
Damn right. Damn right.
All right, Sean, guyliner.
I struggle with this one, but I'm gonna go with Space Raiders only because, well, first of all, I don't know why this movie wasn't called Star Raiders. I guess maybe there was I think there was like an Intellivision game or an Atari game or something like that with that trademark, maybe. I don't know, but
or too many other movies with Star in the front of it.
But Star Raiders just rolls right off the tongue because the two R's dovetail.
You're right. I agree. I've called it that half a dozen times. I mean, it really
have. Space Raiders because it's more it's consistent. It's like I'm not really. I feel like I'm taken out of them of StarCrash every so often because it is like cliffhangers in that, like, something happens and there's a lull, and sleepy music, and then something else. It's like you think that the scraggly hair guy is I shouldn't say that, but you think he dies. You think that Carolyn Monroe dies at one point. Whenever Christopher Plummer comes on, everything slows down to a halt. It's like because he has to slow down to his pace, right? I just feel like there's a lot that happens that sort of like there's bursts of energy, and then suddenly there's like a lull to take care of some sort of story point or something like that. Yeah, I remembered like a video game or something like that.
Had to have been.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that trademark's long gone now, but yeah. But yeah, I feel like with Space Raiders, it's just consistent. It's not like super well paced, but I just feel like there's no break in it, right? It's like you always know what they're gonna do and where they're going. There's no slow moment or anything. One thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, pretty consistently. In my opinion, anyway. So I'm gonna give it to Space Raiders.
All right, yeah, this is a tough one. I would give them both 1.5.
Yeah.
I think they're both. I'm not bored at all throughout either movie. So it comes down to, because I'm not bored and I think they are pretty good paced. It comes down to what am I enjoying more, and for me it's StarCrash. It's obvious. I like that movie, but Space Raiders is very good. I wouldn't really, like you guys are saying, Space Raiders. I really don't feel that I need to argue my point. Like,
no,
it's like I'm like, yeah, like for story, I do think Raiders is better because of how they did it. For pacing, it doesn't matter to me. I can like, if this category ties, I don't care. If this category goes to Space Raiders, I don't care because I gave them both the same marks. I'm not bored through either. I like both. For me, it literally comes down to I'm enjoying watching the characters of StarCrash go through more than I guess the Space Raiders people or what. I don't know. It's because like I can't really. You could always trim some things, but like I don't want to trim away to the point where, because they're not like StarCrash has a lot of locations, and I don't want to trim any of those because I like being at those locations.
Right.
So it's weird. It's like I'm gonna go with StarCrash. I just enjoy it more. So let's see what happens. Steve, you can tie this category. You can give it to Space Raiders, whatever you think whatever you think works.
Did we help your decision at all?
Yeah,
Scott? Or did we just make it worse?
Yeah,
No.
because I don't know. Like I can't.
It's-
Realistically, they would get the same score.
Yeah.
So
That's what I said.
Yeah, I agree.
As far as
I
I'm
agree with
concerned,
that
they're tied.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
I would give them both a 1.5. There's no lulls. There's nothing really. You can't complain that it's boring. You like, if anything, you need a bit more in StarCrash. You need a bit more some other stuff to make the story more cohesive.
So
And
that could that's why I would give it a 1.5. So that it depends on that could sway you the other way to say
Right.
perhaps maybe the pacing was off in the other way. They needed a little bit more.
We always talk about trimming. We never talk about like maybe if we added a little bit more context to it.
Could be.
It's a good
Yeah.
point. I like that.
And Space Raiders, I can't trim. It's not a lot I would think about trimming, like off the top of my head. They're both 1.5s. Like, I mean, if you want to be picky, maybe a little bit of the kid going around a bit. He went around a bit a couple times, like that station. But like that's really nitpicky.
Right.
I'm gonna go with Space Raiders only because I feel like not adding to the story impacts both story and pacing.
Yep.
I feel like I would be more engaged. I really agree with Sean where sometimes you're taken out of it because you're you're enjoying everything, but then you're stopping. You're like, wait a minute, what's going on? And literally because you have those moments of stopping and wondering, I didn't feel like every Space Raiders, I knew what was going on every single moment and I was engrossed. StarCrash, I enjoyed a lot, but like literally I would have to stop and say, well, wait a minute, like what's going on? And then like, I do think that, so here's how I'm sort of framing it. If they added more stuff to StarCrash that would make the story more cohesive, the pacing would have followed suit and been better.
That's it. I'm so upset. I'm taking my shirt off. We're going.
J-Man's, I am done.
All right. That's it.
Every time he disagrees with something, he'll strip.
I'm taking. Yeah.
Woo!
Oh boy.
It's gonna get spicy, boys. We're going to go full frame now.
Oh, it's like so hot. It's so hot in here.
You're going to have to see Jai.
Oh, is that your Great White North? Oh, that's all. I gotta get that.
That's awesome. All right. Okay, so Steve, yeah, you're going with Space Raiders. Yeah, it makes sense. Like sometimes the pacing can be too fast and you've lost stuff, right? Like you're like, where are these characters and why do I care at this point? Like, right? Like sometimes that happens. Okay, let's take a look at the poll. We're at 80%. We've got 5 votes, 80% StarCrash, 20% for Space Raiders.
So 4-1.
So 4-1.
Okay.
4-1 people. It's like the dentists. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend StarCrash. 4 out of 5 nerds recommend StarCrash.
StarCrash is not Colgate, people. Come on now.
All right, so artistry. I'll start with artistry, and I'm going to say StarCrash. This is a no-brainer for me. There's like a lot of cool shit, different areas. Space Raiders use this music and footage from other movies. I can't. I don't know what else to say. I think that it just like StarCrash looks cooler to me, anyways, even if they didn't steal from the other things. I don't really have like I'm good with Space Raiders. Like it looks fine. I actually like the interior of the ship better than the interior of the
original ship,
of the actual interior of Battle.
1,000 times better.
I think it looks way better. So in some ways it's actually better, but I would definitely like, I always think like when it comes to artistry and characters, which we'll get into, but I always think of like the toys. Right. So it's like, yes, I definitely would get all the StarCrash toys. Like, I'm like, yeah, like this all looks cool. Space Raiders is still pretty cool, but for me, it's just easy. It's easy for StarCrash. Like I like the song, the music and all that too. So that this was the only one where this was a very easy one for me. We'll see how you guys think. That's why I just did mine first. Does anyone else? Does everyone have a favorite or?
Yep.
Charlie, you need an asterisk.
You know, this is. I'd like to hear what Steven has to say because everyone thought Charlie's just going to sit here and go Space Raider, Space Raider, Space Raider, done, stamp it, done.
Right.
You know.
No, I didn't think you were. And I'm not going to just say StarCrash just for the shit saying it, right? Like,
right.
Yeah. Because like, what's the point? It's not going to help anything. We're trying to decide we're trying to decide. Like,
Exactly.
obviously, I own both movies, so what do I care, right? Like, it's like, oh no, I don't own Space Raiders. Actually, I don't.
Oh
own
no,
that.
yeah. I
That
thought
was
you
the one
ordered
we
it
were,
after.
that was the one
hard
we were
to
talking
find.
about getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's expensive though now on Blu-ray. That's the thing.
But J-Man, when it comes
I
to
found
toys,
it cheaper.
you would buy two Carolyn Monroes.
I would buy.
one for
I
your
would
bedhead
buy.
and one for no.
I would buy 2 versions of every outfit she wore, so I could keep one in the packaging and one to play with.
Even the one that's not in the movie at all, just get that one too.
I'll get any there's a picture of Carol Monroe getting her shoes shined, and it was like her. This shoe would be canceled, but if this was around now, but she was like, there's like a boy like on the ground, her foot was on the boy, and the other guy's shining the shoe, and her skirt is kind of up, and you're just like, this is crazy.
Different time, boys.
The kids
Different
are like,
time.
woohoo! The kids are like so happy. It's like, all right.
We would have been. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna find that picture while we're talking. It's jokes.
What's up?
All right, so Steve, let's hear what do you think for artistry then?
I'm giving it to StarCrash because that movie was made for the sets, for the costumes, for all that stuff. Like, that's what they really funneled it in. And if I don't give it to him then the entire movie wouldn't be considered a success in any facet, in my opinion. I think that the sets are very well done. It is from 78. So if you go into it with a, mindset like, it's just the camera panning past the model and all that, we know that, you see the light, bright spacing and you're like, all right. Like, but I feel like the costumes are very good. I feel like the one knock I have on StarCrash, which I didn't expect, is I dislike the dubbing a lot.
That's
I do.
Perfect.
I mean,
that's the Italian way, man.
It's very
It's
jarring to
distracting.
me, especially when you're doing Carolyn Monroe, who is an English actress. I didn't quite understand why you need that. I didn't know why the robot needed to have the Western accent.
Well,
I
yeah.
freaking
A lot of that stuff I found weird. But I feel like the money was funneled obviously into the sets and to making everything look good and to make everything look impressive. And if I give it to the Space Raiders, then I can't say that StarCrash succeeded almost in anything it did. And I can't say that. StarCrash put the money in there. It's got John Barry is doing the music. John Barry's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't move on the artistry. I have to give it to StarCrash.
Plus, there's more variety of things.
Yeah, there's more
Stop motion
variety.
stuff.
There's more going on. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Look at the kid shining the shoes. He's like looking right there. Like,
Yeah,
that's
he's
crazy.
like, I wish
Look
I
at
had a
these two
cell
kids.
phone in this era.
They're like, this is the greatest day of
The
our
kid,
lives.
the kid that the foot's on is like, what am I missing? What am I
Yeah.
missing?
He's like, take a picture.
Draw
You
it,
should
damn
see-
it, draw it.
Who thought to do that? Like,
You should see the comments on this, and people are like,
He's like sketch artist.
they're like, it's like, okay, where can I sign up for this?
Can I be a footstool?
All I picture is Butters in that episode of South Park. Did you see the bush? That lady had a bush.
Oh my god.
I had to. I couldn't get that voice out of my head.
Oh my god.
Well, guys, that was fun. Hopefully, we can finish the tournament some other time under. a
Yeah,
new-
that was it.
new
Yeah, that's
channel.
it. We're canceled. It's over. Yeah, do I have anything I've got nothing.
Yeah.
there we go. We're Wonder Woman approved, so
Oh,
we're fine. We're
she
safe.
does.
Yeah.
I know what Wonder Woman would like, and okay, so Sean, then artistry.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Oh, StarCrash. It's the score is original and it's awesome. I love Christmas light space. Light bright also applies. I
Yeah,
love
that was
that.
awesome.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it. It may not have been, but I feel like it's heavily influenced by comic books of the time. And maybe I'm wrong, but like it just looks like it, right? Like
Yeah.
that bald dude looks like a dude from DC Comics, right? And the main guy we talked about before, he looks like like his outfit looks like, you know, the Mark from Orc thing. He also, it
Yep.
reminds me of Greatest American Hero and all that.
Yep.
And like all the sets are great. I mean, they're more well, they look like sound stages dressed up to look like a bridge of a ship and all that stuff, rather than you know, the more realistic look. I like the look of this the Space Raiders like the cockpit and all that stuff. It looks like, you know, like space truckers, right? You know, that kind of thing, right? But yeah, that's what space looks like in StarCrash. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that look. No one does that. Everyone
No,
always
I
does
know.
the Star Warsian like white, and sure, like that's what our, you know, you look out your window at night and there it is, right?
That's what we see, but when we get those pictures that they're now sharing all over the internet from the
Yeah.
Oh my
satellites,
god, those are
That's like-
amazing.
that's what it freaking looks like out there, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
They look like
insane.
CGI. You're like,
They
this is just
do.
fake, and
Yeah.
it's like, this is crazy. Did you see the one
This-
where it's like it's
the
like,
hand,
yeah? Oh no, okay, yeah,
the hand one is like,
That's
holy
crazy.
shit.
I mean, yeah, this is insane. It's like the disc and everything. It's like, oh, this is the stars forming. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
do more of that in movies, right?
Yep.
So, and this
Yeah.
was doing that. So, yeah, no, I like all that. I even like the golems, the
Yep.
stop
Yeah.
motion guys. I don't know if they're meant to be that jerky, but there is a nostalgic feel to those
Yeah.
guys. They're really cool. And even the fake lightsabers neat, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I on StarCrash, like I could live in that world. It's awesome. So, yeah.
All right, Charlie.
So this is kind of where I was leaning anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Space Raiders and be like, the one thing I love most about like Space Raiders, yes, they borrowed a lot of the spaceships and stuff from Battle Beyond. So as most of the movies we've covered on this tournament. So I'm not going to ding them on that. But what I do love, and you touched on just briefly, J-Man, is the interior shots. I love lived in space themes. It's very alien. It's very Outland, you know, just like, you know, what it would really be like is not clean, not polished, not brightly colored. It would be dull and dirty and lived in. And I love that they capture that. They like, even when, you know, we make fun of it when the kid goes into the ship to fix it, it would be that tight. It's like a submarine. I've been in one where you're like, there is no room to be comfortable. It is tightly compact. Get as many people as you can into this. It serves a purpose, and they nailed it. It felt that way. It felt very utilitarian. But I can't not give this to StarCrash because I love movies like Flash Gordon and all those type of serial type shows. Very outlandish colors, bright, everything, costuming. The ship design is unique. I really do love the artistry of StarCrash. It's, to be fair, it's probably one of the only things that really does endear me to that movie is the visuals of it. I did enjoy looking and watching the movie more than the other parts of the movie. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to StarCrash. I think artistry wise, it definitely nails it.
Okay, cool. And yeah, Could Not Be Reached. So Could Not Be Reached actually found a bunch of concept art. I'm not going to show everything. I'll just show a couple pieces. There's a website, and Could Not Be Reached, if you have the website, because I don't have it. I had it off my phone and I don't have it on my computer. But I did save a few
No, that's
few
cool.
pictures.
I like that. I like the robot. I just hate his voice. I hate the accent. I hate what they did with him. It annoyed the hell out of me.
Right.
Oh, I love that.
Right,
Holy shit, I love that.
Yeah, these are, so there's a website that's got them all. Maybe if I still have the link on here, I can share the website. StarCrash concept, because I don't really clear my history. Yeah, you know what? You can just, if you just Google it.
You probably just Google it and hit images, and I bet.
Just do images that shows everything. It's really cool.
Like there's that pyramid that they never
pyramid,
showed. It's
so
cool.
What did I do there? I have no. Oh my god, I don't know what I did here. This is like a disaster. What did I do here?
But you know, maybe it's presumptuous of me, and maybe this is wrong for me to say, but I didn't expect a movie like that to have concept art. To be honest, it's like
you're not wrong.
Because it's like you figure all of this does, but it's like I figured some cheap ass cash in thing they made Star Wars is big. It's like, let's get this out there, like
Right.
you don't think that there's thought and effort put into it on that scale.
Right. And that's one of the things they said
Yeah.
was that they were originally told, like, make Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, because that's kind of what they do. But I'm with you. You don't expect, like Star Wars had like Ralph McQuarrie. And we all know how iconic all of that concept art is. But for someone to take the time to draw all that stuff out, to be like, well, how do we do this movie? Instead of just going in the art department or the costuming and go, this piece looks good with you, let's adjust it here. Let's do that. Like using anything off the rack and just going for it.
And what's funny is that even those two pieces, you could see where they came from for what's on screen isn't quite that, but it's trying to shoot for it.
You see the feel. It still has the vibe that they were going for.
Yeah. But the robot's too blocky for what you saw there in that concept.
Here, I'll show it.
Yeah.
It's just a full body suit rather than maybe just dress a person and have a thing,
Oh yeah, there we go. I'll say I like that. I even like the helmet design. That is really cool. That I dig, but that you can definitely tell they were going for a Luke Skywalker with that.
Yeah. Look at this. That's cool.
I love that. I would have that hanging on my wall, like literally.
So well, a lot of this looks like Flash Gordon type of stuff. Not the movie, but like the old comic.
The old comic, the old serials and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this predates Flash Gordon. This is
the movie.
The movie. The Sam Jones.
Yeah.
But I love that. That concept art is amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. I buy a lot of art books. I used to buy a lot of the Marvel ones. I did get Doctor Strange 2. Because that'll be good. It hasn't come out yet. I pre-ordered. I bought all the Thor ones, but I didn't buy Love and Thunder because I just like the artistry is good, but like F that movie, I don't want to give any extra money to it.
Yeah,
other than gore, what else is there that's good in it? It's like
yeah.
So, but okay, so that is artistry. Let's see where our poll is at. We're still at 80%, so same thing, same votes. All right, so we're on to characters. Who wants to start with characters? Who?
I'll start. I know.
All right, go for it, Charlie.
It is going to be Space Raiders. It is. I care about almost all of the characters on that. Yeah, the kid can be a little annoying, but show me a movie from that time period that the kid really wasn't annoying, and I will never hold that against the child actor. That just how he is. And everything he does in that movie, I still believe is what a kid does. I've seen my kids do it. So it's like, they will wander off. You will tell them not to do something and immediately go do it. So it makes sense. But as far as the crew is where it's at. To see them where they actually do start caring about the kid, even the girl who's like, F this kid, shoot him out the airlock. Let's just go. To where she, essentially gives her life for the kid. She protects him even in death. And then the whole thing at the ending with the captain and the kid saves his life because he saw how the machine worked, and even the captain was like, look, you're going to forget about me. And that's okay. That worked for me. Now, StarCrash has great characters. It's fun characters. I still say I don't know who the bad guy was, just because I won't go. I told you I was going to bring it back, Jay, and I wasn't going to.
It's like everybody knows Joe Spinell. I can't. He's got the most ugliest.
He looks
face.
like a villain. Like
I'm sorry.
He's got the highest colors.
Yeah, like literally the ugliest face of all time. He's maniac.
I can't help that. I just sat there going, "Who's the bad guy again?" I just couldn't.
He's got a fist ship.
I couldn't wrap my head around it.
He goes like this for no reason. It doesn't. It doesn't protect or anything. And
he laughs and he's like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, he laughs a lot.
It's like you could stop now, and he just continues on.
It's like he takes a breath.
Like I was like, is he done? No, he's still going. I hate the robot. I hate the voice. I hate the accent. Shoot him out the airlock. The Mork from Orc dude is okay, but I kind of got a little annoyed with him as it went. I love David Hasselhoff. I love him to death. He was, if he wasn't in this movie, I would have just been out of it completely. You know, and I like her, Monroe. I think she is phenomenal, but she is doing exactly what you expect her to do. She is the eye candy. She is what you're focused on. It's like, you better make her the lead, because we don't know who the bad guy is because how hot she is. That's the distraction right there. They'll be like, what? Who's the bad guy again? Oh, that's right. Oh, new outfit. What's going on? Oh, that's David Hasselhoff in Guy Liner. But you know, I have to give it to Space Raiders because I care about those characters more. I was invested in their journey, and I just really enjoyed them all together. You know, it felt more real to me. So Space Raiders.
Yeah, this one it does pain me a bit because I do like the Space Raiders characters actually, but I like StarCrash characters better. Like, for me, they're all action figures, so I would buy them all, even those bounty hunter guys and that. I like the idea that they're all like, I was gonna say chooch up, which nobody knows what that means, except for Sean and Sean. I think Steve knows what that means.
Yeah.
But like, I like where we had a term for like where two guys who shouldn't be teamed up team up. So it's like, I like the teaming up of everybody. It's like, all right, we're gonna go together and like, you know, stop this guy. That's awesome. The Star or Space Raiders characters are pretty good, especially the captain. Now the captain is so strong that he could be enough to topple it all, but he's going against Carolyn Monroe, so that's like a 0. You can't win.
And that's the problem. I don't argue that at all with you.
Yeah,
I
he
really
just can't
don't.
win. It's just not. He's not that great of a character. It's not like I can ignore.
Yeah.
I can ignore it if it's a real, like if it was Snake Plissken versus Carolyn Monroe, then yeah, Snake Plissken's better than Stella Star.
He
But,
needed
like,
a shirtless moment. That needed him like
I
walking
don't know.
around just with the hamburger hanging off and just.
I don't know.
You almost
I
got
need-
it. He did have
He did have to open up his
Yeah,
shirt, but
yeah.
it's like I needed to see like not quite abs, but where abs almost are, and I think maybe he could have been right there with her.
Yeah, well, no, probably not. Probably not. No, it's got to be like if it was like Max, like Mad Max, or
Yeah.
if it's Snake Plissken or Flash Gordon or one of these, like, you know, Tarzan or something. It's like, but just this regular guy who is an amazing character can't beat her. And Hasselhoff is great. I like the great. I like William Cat or whatever the non William Cat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like all the characters. I'd buy the toys. I would literally buy the toys of everybody. So to me, that's just cool. But the Space Raiders characters were pretty good, but they also all die. And so it's like you can't, like, you know, it's weird. It's like you're not going to buy all these figures. You're like, how am I going to play? They're just going to have them all that just get killed or whatever. I don't know.
I
Some of them
exploded
die in
GI
StarCraft.
Joes all the time as a kid, man. So
You
it's
killed all the
totally
GI
fine.
Joe.
Yeah, we'll just you destroy them as we go in the play sets. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And then they get resurrected. Remember The Boy Who Could Fly? You ever see that movie?
Yeah, I love that
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
I didn't see it, but I knew about it. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
watched it recently, and I'm like, oh my god, this is
and-
great, man.
And he
Yeah.
buries he has funerals and buries the Joes and all that. And then
Heck
when
yeah,
it rained,
man.
remember when it rained and he's like, no, and he's like, gotta go back and get him.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, no, StarCrash for me has the better characters, but I would rate StarCrash's characters more anyways, but the Space Raiders characters are really good, especially considering I didn't think they were going to be anything. I thought they were going to be a bunch of losers.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised at how good that they actually were.
Yeah.
So it sucks that I have to, I'm giving it to StarCrash because I just like it better, but the Space Raiders characters are good. But I mean, I bought the Stella Star book, like continuing her adventures and all that. Like, I mean, and that book's like hundreds of dollars now because nobody bought it but me. So for me, it's StarCrash. Steve, what do you think?
No, I gotta hear Sean.
Oh, Sean.
The characters, I'm gonna go with Space Raiders because StarCrash, I mean, there are some cool moments there. I feel like the moment between Stella Star and the robot guy, where they sort of bond there for a second, comes out of nowhere. It's a cool, sweet moment, but it's like, huh? Like, you know, it's like they're about to die and they're like, oh, we've been on many chases together or whatever, and then you know, that's cool. William Cat guy. I don't know what his name is really, but
Yeah.
He's just baffling to me. I don't get. I don't even get how they're partners. And he's got like these baffling powers, and it's like he has the power to do whatever the scene demands. Like I don't know what his powers are. Bald man, he's cool, I guess. He looks cool, but like he's a bad guy anyways. He starts off as a bad guy, and everyone's like shocked that he's a bad guy. Stella Star herself, there could have been a franchise, and that's why they made those books. It's like just James Bondish, sort of like she's she's put on missions, like she's put on a mission here, and that's cool. And they go to her, and they don't go to that guy. And it's like they're both partners, but they go to her instead, right? And they go like, Stella Star, go on this mission, and the scraggly hair guy too. Take him if you want. Those characters are okay. The rest are all sort of cookie cutter, like archetypes, I guess, which is all right. Like I'm all for that, but I feel like there's more nuance to the characters in Space Raiders only because, and I feel like that kid elevates everyone. That's the whole point of that movie, I think. That everyone's sort of like a piece of crap, but then they all, as I said before, they all fight for something bigger than themselves. Discover a little bit about themselves doing it. That alien guy's awesome, and with the precognitive powers, that's cool. The woman, the Hot Lips Houlihan clone, she's awesome. That's a deep cut.
I
But
like
she,
that.
yeah,
Good
kind of
MASH
looks like her
reference.
too.
I like
Yeah.
that, man. I like that.
But she, she grows as a character there as well. And as you said, like she dies for the kid. All those guys, even that guy that's like, one out of beer, like, go shoot these rocks. He's like the big brother. I like all those guys. I like the green guy that hates them. He's not totally a monster. Like
the
I like
base
that
boss
guy.
or whatever it was. I can't remember what his name was.
All that stuff is cool. I think they're better realized. And I think it's all about tone too. I think that's the strength of the characters in Space Raiders, in that they're not going for archetypal comic book, like Silver Age comic book stuff.
Right.
They're going for basically like these characters grow, and there's a personality to them that changes over time in this movie. That's the whole point of the film, right? So I'm gonna go with Space Raiders for character.
All right, Steve.
Steve.
Because we're talking about two different things, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the characters in StarCrash are meant to be fun, and like Stella Star's outfits become more and more skimpy as it goes, until inexplicably she's fully clothed, and I'm like, I don't know why.
So weird.
No,
There's a whole story behind
there is a
that,
story behind that.
Yeah. I read the story, but as far as watching the movie, you're right. She's like Skippy. Wait, why is she all covered? Damn it!
J-Man, you told me that the robot was played by the boyfriend, and you could tell like when he goes right between her and some other dude. It's like that's great.
Yeah, the producers were like, wait, is this what she's wearing throughout the whole movie? And they're like, yeah, we've already filmed everything. And they're like, no, we can't have that because where's this going to be playing?
Yeah.
We can't play that anywhere. And then they're like, okay, so then all of a sudden it's random. It's like, okay, now she's wearing these clothes. You're like, what happened? Why?
Well, I hope those producers got fired, to be honest.
They should have been fired.
So I feel like they're meant to be what they're meant to be in StarCrash. I don't think they're trying to be anything they're not. I feel like Space Raiders again is going for like a bit of a higher thing. Like, I agree totally with Sean. The kid elevates the other characters, even though the kid himself is a board, a plank, as Sean did say at one point to actually describe the kid.
Fair.
I would say, so the way I'm picking this is very simple. I would say from a character perspective, because otherwise it's very clear. The best character in Space Raiders is the captain, and the best character I think in StarCrash is Caroline Munro.
Yeah, Stella.
I feel like the movie utilizes the Space Raiders guy better. That's just it. Caroline Munro is a terrific character. She doesn't get enough of a chance to be a terrific character in the movie because they got all these other characters. They got that acting guy who's like the guy who was a child preacher when he was 4, whatever, who became an actor, whatever, that's what he was. He's really, he's interesting, but I don't get him. I don't understand the character at all. I don't, like Sean said it perfectly. He just is whatever you need for whenever you need it. Like when he's dying, I was kind of like, okay, like, and he had the longest death scene in freaking history. The villain is the classic mustache twirling, tie of a damsel in distress to the railroad track villain. There's nothing wrong with any of the characters in StarCrash, but I sort of agree with Charlie that the characters in Space Raiders meant a bit more to me. I did enjoy all the characters in StarCrash show. I could have watched many, many movies with Cameron Monroe in skimpy outfits. But if we're talking about characters and what they meant to me, it's Space Raiders.
Okay.
Fair.
So basically, we have a bunch of men that can't handle a strong woman lead. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay.
Let it not be said that gay man is not a feminist.
Somebody's trying to get us uncanceled, apparently.
I don't know. Listen, ladies, look what I've got to deal with here. I'm trying my best.
I'm sorry, we just didn't want to watch the Real Housewives of StarCrash. That's all it was.
She wins, and hey, your captain loses in the end. She wins in the end, man. She destroys the thing and wins.
Why y'all keep saying he died? He lived. He just left. Remember?
I know he lived, but he lives in disgrace, and he's a failure.
What disgrace? He won.
Got
the kid home. He's gonna go punch the green dude in the face. Is what he's gonna go do next.
I do have to say too, the one really good thing about Space Raiders is it inexplicably it sort of turns expectations, and it's in the one woman on the crew being most against the kid at the beginning. I don't want anything to do with the kid.
She's not motherly or anything.
She's not motherly at all.
The maternal thing. That's what you expect. You expect.
Exactly.
She's going to take the kid under and be like, "Oh, we have to help him. She's like, launch him out the airlock." I mean, this was like how much everyone like says they love and I do. I love Rogue One, where they're like, it's such a downer kind of movie, and we need more of that. Mm-hmm. Freaking Space Raiders is a downer movie it does have a happy ending, but it's still pretty down. Like, dude lost his entire crew, and there's no money to be made. He's not going to make anything off of the kid. He lost the haul that he was supposed to be getting. I mean, it ends on a down note, but the relationship with the kid is what it really ultimately does. He does the right morally thing. It has morally succeeds, but as far as like adventure wise, he doesn't.
Right.
That movie doesn't like parents because it's like the parents are mean in that too.
They're trying to shoot their own kid down, man. It's insane.
When he runs back home, I don't even get what the end plan is there. It's like he drops him off and he runs into the house, and that's the movie.
There should have been some kind of tie
weird.
At the end that the kid and the captain end up back together, but I think it was even then they were probably still like, it'd be kind of weird for a kid just to jump in a stranger's spaceship and go on adventures, so it was like the kid still had to go home, so that was the completion of the arc. But me now, I'd be like, mom and dad, you tried to blow me up. You didn't really try to stop my whole lot. I'm gonna go hang with this dude because he at least risked his entire crew to save me. I'm going with him. Peace.
This is like Time Bandits, where the parents explode at the end. You're like, okay, that's the ending. And
I thought that was incredibly dark when I was like 7 or something watching. I was like, Jesus Christ! And it was funny about that. What's dark is not that the parents die or whatever happens to them. What's dark is that then all the people that could probably take them in leave. Like like the firefighters and all that stuff. They just like nod at him and they take off, and it's like he's all alone at the end.
Yeah, it's
what
like,
the
you
hell?
know what to do now.
Yeah.
Area.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make mac and cheese, asshole. What the hell am I supposed to do?
But now he can go on adventures with the dwarves, right?
Yeah, but they're all gone too. I think that like that's what I got out of that movie. It's
Yeah,
like
but they'll come
everyone's
back and do
gone.
adventures.
And then the book closes anyway. Yeah,
Like I thought that was a happy ending because the parents were lame. I'm like, okay, well,
They
you
are
guys were
lame, yeah.
so it's like go with these guys.
Hey, man, parents just don't understand. That's all.
They don't. All right, so
We
for
got one
enjoyment,
more category. Yeah, we got
one more. Well, it's StarCrash has already lost, proving that you guys are all anti-feminist or whatever.
Strong
the
female
He-Man woman hating.
You're the He-Man woman,
Yeah.
and no
I'll
man.
wear that badge with pride, boys. I'll wear that badge with pride.
So,
One more reason why Little Rascals is never on air anymore.
Yeah.
The He-Man woman haters.
There's a lot.
What about No Ma'am from Married with Children? No
No,
Ma'am.
They can't
Card
make it
carrying-
like they used to do, man.
All right, so well, enjoyment. I'm gonna say StarCrash
No,
because
get out.
because because it's obviously better than Space Raiders. But you women haters don't think that, which is fine.
Did you
Everyone's
expect
allowed.
them to get this salty about this? Come on now.
I
You knew
did
there was
warn
a
you.
chance. You knew there was a chance.
I did warn everybody, so just to
You
be
did.
sure.
You did.
Look,
And
there
next week will go a lot smoother because it'll just be me.
oh,
So it'll be a lot easier next week.
hi everybody.
It doesn't
My
matter.
work here's done. It's fine.
It doesn't matter.
No, I didn't have much hope for StarCrash. Even if StarCrash pulls through, none
It
of these movies
wasn't
is
gonna
pulling-
last long.
None of these movies are pulling through once my bad
Your
boy,
boy?
my boy comes
Yo-
in.
My boy Blue, you my boy Blue.
No, I like
yours
StarCrash.
like yours like a Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 1. He's like slapping his muscles. He's walking in. He's like,
No. I know what the final two movies are going to be,
I do too.
and it's going to be impossible.
It's gonna be a
It's
bloodbath.
going to be way worse.
It's
than
gonna be a
Crawl.
blood. It's gonna be a bloodbath.
I'm gonna have to go last almost on every category because I don't know the answer. I'm already foreseeing it. Like I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't care too much about this one. It's like, okay, you know what? Because we know who's winning the next thing, and we know who's winning the next one. So, then we don't know who's winning the one after that. That's the problem.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, no, I love StarCrash. Obviously, I showed it to Steve. I had a watch party for it at my place with the Lou Ferrigno Hercules movies. Space Raiders is new to me, so I haven't had time to fall in love with it. The Blu-ray's out of print.
Oh yeah.
The DVD is like $30, which is not worth it.
Yeah.
I would pay $30 for the Blu-ray though.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could see that, especially if
Okay.
got something behind the scenes or like a commentary. That would be
Yeah, I don't care. To me, Blu-rays are worth $30 if it's a movie I like. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So Space Raiders is an awesome movie. It kind of came out of nowhere, and I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did. I think it's a good movie. It's pretty much one. We'll go through it anyways, but I do still like StarCrash better. I just think I just like the toyetic value of it. Like I feel like I'd be like, oh, like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God. Like to me, it was like Last Starfighter. I'm like, oh, I want all these. When I saw the Last Starfighter page, the advert for
For
my
the toys
God.
they ever made. Oh God.
That's
And like of
awesome.
all the things, Reaction has never done those.
I know.
Right? Yeah. What's up with that? That
the hell,
licensing
man?
can't be that expensive. Come
It
on,
can't
man.
be. So yeah, I'm going with StarCrash. It's Stella Star. I'm not an anti-feminist, so all right. Charlie, what do you like better?
I'll go. I'm going to take like what you just said though, but I'm going to flip it. I watched Space Raiders and I fell in love with that movie because neither of us were expecting that movie was going to do what it did.
No,
like,
yeah.
When we first picked, we were talking about it. I was like, okay, I've never heard of this movie. It's not going to move on.
Right.
And I watch it and I'm like, holy shit, this movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it comes out of nowhere. I'm with you. I want to own it. If I ever find the chance that I can find it, it's not stupid expensive, I am going to buy it because I want to watch it over and over again. And it took me 2 days to watch StarCrash. I mean, I can't get over that. It didn't grab me. Visually, it did. Yes, she's hot, but I'm not even going to backtrack on the feminist thing. You know, it's like she lost. It's fine. You know, just get back in the kitchen, lady. It's fine. But, you know, there's a girl in StarCrash and she dies, or Space Raiders, but she dies. Yeah, there you go. Thankfully, my wife doesn't watch the live streams. Yeah. No, it's Space Raiders, man. I enjoy that one so much more than StarCrash. I was picking Galaxina over StarCrash, to be fair. There's no way.
No, that is insane.
That is kind of insane, yeah.
That might have been this much troll because I was having so much fun watching J-Man go, what?
Yeah, that's insane. Space Raiders is legit pretty good. Right.
Now there were things I liked about Galaxina. I wasn't
I'm okay with
it.
I thought everyone was gonna hate Galaxina and hate me. No, they're like, firstly, Galaxina's trash. I just paid money for it. J-Man, you suck. And I was like, no, it's I still kind of
I got it on Tubi, so it cost nothing, which probably helped me like it more. But it was still like there was stuff I liked, but I was like, it was that much troll just to watch J-Man's expressions. Right. This one is legit though. This one is just like again, there's a lot it ties with. I will not deny that. Then there's stuff that it was better at. But overall, I enjoy Space Raiders, a ton more.
Cool. All right, Steve.
Space Raiders. StarCrash is a lot of fun, and it's great visually. Everything Charlie said. But I like the tighter storyline. I care a bit more for the characters. That's just it. Like. There's nothing else to say. Like Space Raiders would be on my shelf if it wasn't out of print. Would StarCrash possibly, but I would get Space Raiders first. So it's Space Raiders.
All right,
fair.
Sean.
5 years ago, I would have said StarCrash, but after rewatching Space Raiders, I'm going to go with Space Raiders.
You got dumber in your old age, right?
Yeah.
I'll get everyone their woman hater badges in the mail. Trust me, we're all fine. I got y'all covered.
Yeah, I just I like revisiting those characters and everything. I've watched it a couple times since I watched it for this thing. I was like, oh yeah, I used to love this thing, and it's like, oh, I love it more now for some reason. I appreciate the story more now that I'm older. And I, quite frankly, J-Man, I think I've seen StarCrash too many times. So like it's now toggled back to Space Raiders for me. If you're gonna put them together like this, so yeah, Space Raiders.
You just voted against Carolyn Monroe. That's all that matters.
This is why I tried to get the asterisks of take her out of the equation.
No, you can't do that.
I knew this was going to happen. I tried to stop it before we got there. It's fine.
You guys deserve it.
Screw all of you.
That's fine.
That's it.
It's fine.
That's it.
Just bring it all in. It's
When
fine.
J-Man found that clip, I think his life was complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Bailey's voice, and I really like the way she did that. It's like
The way she turns.
Yeah.
It's not just, she's making
Yeah,
sure
she's like,
sees
make sure to get everybody.
Everyone, all of you here. I like it.
Hey, MMM.
Hey, he's back. Oh, I didn't make him mad this time. All right.
Let's see what the StarCrash is. 83%.
6 out of 7.
6 votes.
Wow.
Or is it 5 out of 6? I can't remember.
That'd be 5 out of 6 then.
Yeah.
5 out of 6. Well,
Yeah, I know you see more of Carolyn Monroe here with that one crazy outfit she has in like the mines and stuff, but like my preferred Monroe movie is Golden Voyage of Sinbad.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Like I I don't know. She looks amazing in that movie.
I think that one's
too.
also more well known than
Yeah.
Yeah,
StarCrash
well, it's a
is.
better movie. Like, no offense, J-Man.
Well, I like I like all this.
Yeah.
Harryhausen's my hero. So
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, so I've updated because I knew you losers were gonna pick Space Raiders. So
Look at this.
See, didn't have
I
fun.
thought he was
Sorry.
gonna be like, either way, it's fine, it's fine. No, he's gotten all
No.
like,
Well, that's what he said. What he meant was
what I meant was
it's
you
better
guys
than
are all
StarCrash.
losers. That's what I meant. So here's where we're at.
So
Where your little Space Raiders movie's gonna lose next time. So
I was salty last week for Battle Beyond the Stars. J-Man salty this week for Space Raiders. Who's salty next week?
well, I guess it
well,
depends
what
on
we-
who are
okay,
we
hold
doing
on.
next. Yeah,
what are we
Go
doing
ahead.
next week?
yeah. What are we doing? So what we have left, we have Your versus Forbidden
Mutant.
World and Space Hunter versus Kroll. I know my winners that I pick out of both of those. So
I know all my winners after, like, except for the final.
yeah, the finals where I'm tossed up. But I got a feeling me and J-Man are not picking the same one in one of the finals.
Man, I'm gonna. It's gonna be the most dramatic of all time.
Wait. No. Wait a minute. More dramatic than Your versus Crow.
Yeah, because I love more than Crawl for sure. Easy.
Oh,
And
well,
the
it beat
thing
it
is-
first.
Yeah, the thing is that Crawl is a childhood favorite, and
Oh, yeah.
Your is an adult childhood favorite. Because when I watch it, I feel like I should have been watching this my whole life.
See,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing Kroll making it to the finals. If I'm going to be 100%.
No way.
I'd
No,
be
no, no,
surprised
no,
if it
yeah.
did, to be honest with you.
The thing is, yeah,
I'm,
we have.
I'm
to,
terrified of that final because that's what I've got in my head, and I'm like, I don't know if I can pick.
The
I
problem
say-
is, Space Raiders. I'm sorry, Space Hunter and Crawl are childhood day one VHS.
Mhm.
Watched it 100 times.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so now that's gonna be the most fair you'll ever get me, because it's gonna be I grew up with both of these. Your versus Crawl. What happened was that I grew up with Crawl, but Your unlocked my
Yeah.
imagination into the possibilities of what. Like, I don't watch too many movies. I could probably count them on one hand. I would say Ghost Town. Yours one. I can't think of any other. Exterminate.
Yours more your sensibilities. We just did last night a Thongor freaking 2 hour or 1 hour and a half or whatever stream. And Thongor is a super obscure Conan ripoff.
Yeah.
But it's the whole thing was like it's all of the tropes that you want. He fights guys, he fights different kinds of guys in every adventure. It's all of the cool pulp stuff. And that is Your, and you picked that category, you picked that topic for last night. So it's like, that's Your as well, right? So
That's
Your
the
is
thing.
like everything you imagine in those kinds of movies put on the screen, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you love it for that, right?
And so, like, Ghost Town, Exterminator, and Your. I'll think of some other ones, but those three movies, I would immediately jump on making the continuation. I would do Exterminator 3. Like, I
easy,
desperately, I think that series has so much potential. I would desperately want to do that. Same with Ghost Town. I'd love to do another Ghost Town movie, and I would love to do Your. So it's like it's transcendent. Like it's like I'm so pumped up that I want to have the rights to Exterminator and continue it. Like that's like how, like, people are like, oh man, I'd love to do like a Top Gun movie or something. It's like, no, I like these smaller movies where I can almost do what I want and kind of like, really like embrace what they are, but elevate them at the same time.
Right.
Okay, so what do we got here? I'll vote for Lost World, make Crawl live forever. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's Your, not Yorn. And I made it, and first I have a Facebook group for Your. So like keep that in mind. By the way, everybody on that Facebook group are are assholes. They all voted to kill Kala. You guys are so mean. I
That's
posted.
right.
Yes, me
You
too.
guys know.
Yeah.
I think I voted first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
know who
voted last
voted
because
for
I
what.
saw you and someone else. I was like, you know what? I'll pile on here. And
You guys are so mean.
But you've been throwing like softballs every once in a while, so I was like, I'm gonna shake it up, killer. That's
Yeah.
what I did.
I was like, you know what? It's time. Like, you
Yeah,
do a
you
couple,
put
you do
that
a
up.
couple of weeks. Yeah, a couple of
Yeah.
weeks of easy, and then I'm like, all right, fucking, here we go. Now,
Hey,
now
you put the option up there.
I did.
You can't be
That's
mad
the
that we
family.
picked
No,
it.
no.
it's the death in the family pool. It's like, well, we didn't expect to kill Robin, but okay. You're
Yeah,
like,
I was shocked. I woke up and checked the Facebook. I was like, whoa. I'm like, wow, I didn't expect this to happen. So I'm pumped. Like, you should have seen the death scene that I wrote for her. And then I thought this was like, it was like a Terrifier death scene. And I thought, okay, this is like way too much. I said, let me dial this back a little bit, just because I felt a bit bad. So I couldn't go hardcore on
And we
it.
still killed her. We
We
didn't
killed
Yeah.
her. I know.
yeah.
So what do you want to do next week then, guys? What's your thoughts?
I say let's do Forbidden World and Your.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. And we're gonna call it Mutant because I guess it doesn't matter at this point.
I'll call
now.
Forbidden World now because
Yeah,
I'm
now it's not
confused.
Galaxy of Terror. We're not getting as tripped up on the words.
Yeah.
If I'm a little sleepy, don't forget us Americans get Thanksgiving on Thursday.
Yep.
So I might be I'll be a little full even on Friday night going, okay, what? I vote deviled eggs. It's fine.
and I've got a card. I've got a your card that everyone can share on Thanksgiving. Red Brown
hell yeah.
Red Brown
hell.
likes my e-cards that I
He
do.
loves them, man. It's awesome.
So I'm very happy with that. I can't believe he shared it. And he that means he didn't just share it. He like saved it, and then because on Facebook you don't just retweet that easily. You have to like
No, you gotta
You
go
gotta hit
through
the
it.
buttons. Yeah.
you gotta post it again.
Reb
It's
is
like,
super like involved with all his stuff.
he is.
Like he'll put it on his personal page, then he'll have it on the fan page. If
Yeah.
he likes it, man, he will share it. I mean, he's a great dude. I mean, I can't wait to meet him.
He's
one
awesome.
of-
So he's coming to some show pretty soon. I'd like to do. I'm gonna grab some autographs off his website, and I think he personalized them. So Carolyn Monroe is sending me her two now. That's in processing now, and Steve and I got the wrestling autographs, which you guys saw last. So Steve, yours are right there.
Nice.
So I will give those to you on Sunday, and that's my updated shelf or whatever.
Damn,
And,
man. Those look great.
Very nice. Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so up there's Damage Control, all three of them signed underneath his Bailey's thing. And then I've got Alexa and Liv. I actually have Greg the Hammer Valentine's autograph as well, but it's in my autograph collection. So I should actually pull that out.
Nice.
But I'm very happy with those. So, okay. So next week it's going to be, what did we just say? Oh, Mutant
Yours,
versus
Forbidden
Your.
World.
Yep. We're
all
almost there, boys. We're almost there.
That's going to be good. Okay. So I think we'll end off there. And so a reminder that Monday I'm on Clobberin Times talking about Brave and the Bold, number 124. Tuesday, Steve and I doing our wrestling talk. Wednesday, Action Elite is back on Wednesday nights. We're
back.
Judge Dredd versus Dredd.
Yes.
And I could do that
I could do it now.
I could easily do that anytime, like no problem. I've seen Dredd 1,000 times.
All of my
Yeah,
dread.
Oh, I know. I didn't know you were a Judge Dredd guy. I should have known about the first CD I ever bought.
Dread.
Yeah, no,
Covered by my name. I have dread everywhere, dude. I am huge dread.
that was the first CD I ever bought, was the soundtrack to Judge Dredd. First
Nice.
CD. Second CD was Clueless, the soundtrack to Clueless.
Okay. I can see that though, honestly. Some of the soundtracks for a movie, you're like, I don't know why, but you see the soundtrack, you're like, okay, I see it. Why? Yeah.
Yeah. So Charlie, you don't know this, but I like teen. I firstly, I like dance movies, and I also like teen high school, like teen movies like Mean Girls and all that. So I love Heathers. That's my all-time favorite. Obviously, Heathers is the best.
Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker's
I
okay.
like Jawbreaker. I did
It was
see
good.
that one.
It's good. Heather's is number one. I've watched.
Yeah,
it
you
100
should
times.
be Jawbreaker, Jamie.
You should be
Yeah,
Jawbreaker.
You should watch this.
Oh,
Like, sure. It's like, oh, what cool horror thing you're gonna watch now? Like Jawbreaker. It's like, oh, is there a cool kill in it? No,
Not really. Well, she gets
No.
The
it's-
Jawbreaker in her
yeah.
mouth's kind of wild.
Yeah,
That's kinda
it's
cool.
in her neck. Like, holy
Yeah,
crap.
it's like,
Yeah, I like a lot of random. Like we'll be and my wife. This next week we'll be married 15 years. My wife and I.
yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And she'll still be like, "What the hell are you?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I love all these." And I'm like listing all this. She's like, "I've never heard you talk about this." It's just like random because I like so many things that it's just like you like this type of movie. Like, oh yeah, I've seen this 100 times. Like she'll be like, "Oh, I saw this really crappy movie the other day," and she'll name it. I'm like, "Yeah, I have that. I have that like right there." It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want you to stand on this hill alone, 'cause I know you're not embarrassed by it because you're telling us about it. But I will tell you, one of my favorite movies that I will watch, it's almost a comfort movie, is I love The Devil Wears Prada.
oh, that's
I
a great
can
movie.
watch that movie anytime. I love it. I love Anne Hathaway anyway,
Yep.
but I love that movie. And when I tell people that this guy is sitting right here, I love The Devil Wears Prada.
No, it's a good movie.
No,
I
it is
saw
a good
great.
movie.
I saw someone refer to that scene in the boardroom where she says that, I can't remember what it was, but she says something or other is stupid, and they're all like, there's nothing stupid about this because this is our job kind of thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't remember what the exact term, but they were referring to that, talking about like people writing Star Wars and stuff where they don't belong, right? You know, like
Right.
where
Right.
they're messing something up that like it has a grand tradition and a following that they don't get, right? You know, but it's not movie. It's Devil Wears Prada. They were quoting. I'm like, it's getting more respect now. I think.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think that
Yeah.
one's actually going to get a little bit more of a cult following. Of course,
Yeah.
it's got Anne Hathaway, and everyone loves Anne Hathaway. I don't care. Who you are.
I do visually like her, but not when she opens her mouth in that Alice in Wonderland movie. Every time she spoke, I wanted to shoot
Yeah,
myself.
that was just weird, but I almost feel like they did that on purpose with her, though. You know what I mean? Like that very annoying, because I love her in like Princess Diaries.
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I mean, and I liked her as Catwoman. I'm sorry, you know,
I visually
she's
like
not
her as
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
I'll
I usually
rewatch
like
her getting
I
on that
usually like her in
motorcycle.
everything. I don't really like her ever visually, to be honest with you, either.
Well, it's
I mean,
okay.
I like the
You can be in the woman haters club still, Steven. It's fine.
Yeah,
Oh no.
it's
Well, I like
okay.
the what was the one with Robert De Niro where he's the older guy going to work or whatever, and she's the boss or whatever.
Oh,
Intern,
yeah.
the intern.
The intern?
Turn.
That was
Yeah.
all right.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I watched that. So no, I do like her, but like sometimes she's irritating. But not in Devil Wears Prada.
No, she's perfect
Um,
in that. She is perfection. I don't care.
so-
I love that.
All right, and then so that's gonna be Wednesday night, Judge Dredd versus Dredd. I don't know if we're doing a proper versus or we're just talking about them. I didn't confirm.
I
that.
have like I already said, there's no winner for that for me. So I think it's going to be just comparing the two. You know, like how we went from one to the other, as drastic. So I don't know. We'll check with Owen, but it's Dredd. Who cares? I get to talk about Judge Dredd.
I tried to find this for you, Charlie. And maybe I'll talk to you privately. That guy like Rob Ager, who analyzes movies, he did a thing on Dredd, and it's no longer. The problem is that he actually makes money off his reviews. It only costs like $2 or $3, but he does, like, he did a 3-hour C-3PO analysis, and it's like he does crazy stuff. Like I
Holy
watched,
crap.
he did an 8-hour 2001 Space Odyssey breakdown, which I've watched.
I can see that though. Honestly, I mean, when you say
Yeah.
2001 Space Odyssey, that doesn't sound as crazy, but
So,
3
but he
hours
did
on
Dredd.
C-3PO.
Yeah, but he did Dredd, and like he posted like, I don't know, like a 40-minute version. I think I may have bought it. If I bought it, I can share it with you.
Okay.
And he analyzed the crap out of that movie, and you're like, wow. And it's like these aren't things that, oh, this is a mistake. Like they like he'll be like, look at the way this was shot, or what Dredd says here, and how does this
I
compare to this?
prefer that kind of breakdown over. Well, this is what they did because you can't compare them to the comics.
No.
Right.
Yeah, no, he
You-
doesn't know anything about the he's a
Yeah.
British guy, but he's like, I've read 2000 AD comic. He doesn't know anything.
And that's what I hate when other people are like, the movies are terrible. They're not. They're never going to be the comic.
They're
You
never the
can't. You
comic.
can't do the comic on a movie scale. It's not going to work.
They almost could have on the first. Well, we'll talk about it on Wednesday because they almost.
We'll say everybody come over to the Action Elite next Wednesday, man. We'll be doing Dread.
And then I might take a break Thursday then, and then Friday we'll be back to do Mutant or Forbidden World versus Yor. Okay, guys. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Hey, friends. You've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.